Myself and Chris Noon will be discussing the VCDX, the VMware VCDX certification, what it is, a bit about it, the journey Chris went through to achieve it, and a little bit about how Clarinet helped him to do it. So start off with an introduction. I'm Elio De Silva, Platform Services Manager at Clarinet.
And I am Chris Noon, and I am the Senior SDN Specialist.
Yeah, so Chris worked with Clarinet for 3.5 years. He recently just left us to start a new role as a network consultant, but has kindly come back to help us do this video and tell us a little bit about VCDX. So yeah, to start us off with, Chris, what exactly is VCDX, and what makes it so sought after? What makes it special?
Yeah, so the VCDX is VMware's top level certification. So most people that are around the VMware environment know people that have VCPs, they know people that have VCAPs or VCIXs in the different tracks, but the VCDX is the top of those. Think of it as the CCIE for VMware. That's what the VCDX is, and it's so sought after because it is the pinnacle of VMware certifications. Not only is it the very top, I think it teaches you a well-rounded approach of how to architect stuff from a technical perspective, but also look at things from a business perspective as well. So those with a technical background kind of dive into that business element, and those with a business background dive into that technical element. It just creates a well-rounded expert, so to speak.
Indeed. And it's quite rare, isn't it? I mean, there's not many people that are certified up to that degree.
No, there are currently 290 of us. I am 289. And then there are 4 tracks within those. There's DTM for desktop. There's CMA for cloud management and automation. There is NV for network virtualization. And there's DCV, which is the most popular one for data center virtualization. The NV being the one I hold. Although there's nearly 300 of us total VCDXs, there is only, I think, 70 or 75 network virtualization specialists. So it's pretty rare out there.
Right, yeah. So mainly around
NSX, NSX VLT, whichever your flavor is, probably leaning towards T right now. But yeah, it's all about how NSX can help solve business goals, what you did to solve those business goals, and getting that qualification just really cements the fact that you have those business and those technical skills and you can bring them together.
Yeah, no. So yeah, like you said, it's the top level of VMware certification basically that you can get. So it's obviously quite an involved process. Can you tell us a little bit about how does one go about getting the certification? What did you have to do? What sort of work did you have to put in? How long did it take you?
Yeah, it does take a while. There's a couple of guys in the community that speak about how long it takes them. There's 1 or 2 of them that have done it in about 6 or 7 months. A year probably seems to be about the average to do it. And I think I took about 16, 17 months, something around there, but that was just because of COVID delays and stuff that really didn't help. The process in general is quite long. So what you have to do is you have to make sure you have some prerequisites, like you have to have your VCP and your VCAP in the area you want to take your VCDX in. Then you have to go for a design documentation stage. So you do a design on a specific project that you've done. It can be fictional, but it's a hell of a lot easier if it's a real one, and then you can add fictional elements to that to meet certain criteria. And then once you've done that design document, you have to do supporting documents, and those documents altogether take anywhere between 100 and 150 hours to create. Once you've done that, you then need to get accepted and then go to a panel and defend your design, as well as do an ad hoc scenario for 45 minutes, which is quite interesting, quite fun. If you've got
to really know your stuff to be able to answer the questions on the fly. And you say it's not just it's not like normal exams where you can sort of parallel to some degree. You have to really know it and understand what you design, so that any question, you know the answer because it's a real thing.
Yeah, it's quite good. I mean, during the panels, it's kind of, you've done your document and you go into the defense. It's about a 2-hour defense. It's a 2-hour defense day. And you spend the first hour, 15 minutes defending your design. So you get 3 panelists. They're just asking you, why did you do that? Why didn't you do that? Did you cater for this? How did you mitigate against this risk? There's a number of questions they throw at you, and you really have to understand your design like the back of your hand to make sure that you can answer all those on the fly. And then not only that, you get 45 minutes then where they just give you, a random scenario. Company ABC has these problems. We want NSX to fix it. Go.
Yeah.
Which is quite fun.
Yeah, I mean it's great. It's as real life as it gets, right? It's saying, right, here's the problem, the technology, and up with an solution for it. Yeah. That was something we built at Clarinet, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So that was Clarinet Cloud, which was built by Claranet. So I focused mainly on the network virtualization piece. But yeah, it was all about how we created a software-defined network for onboarding our customers in an IaaS service, and that was a pretty cool project. Most projects I see or I review for people now are more focused on a dedicated customer, 2 sites, NSX. Ours was a cloud platform, which was unique, and I hope that the panelists found that a little bit interesting. It's a little bit off the beaten path, which is very cool. But yeah, I like to think that not only did we succeed at Clarinet, but that success also helped me in my VCDX defense.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it does add a slightly different element on it. You're not just trying to solve one customer's problem. You're trying to create a solution to almost productize and to onboard multiple customers. And I remember us going through that project and thinking, well, what if a customer needs this and then a customer needs that? So it's not only solving a problem, but also trying to preempt multiple scenarios and design around that. So yeah,
so that's when I was talking before about having a real scenario or a fictional one. Having that real scenario, because we went through all of that. We went through the what if they want this, how do we deliver this? Okay, this difficult customer wants ABC. All of those things could potentially come up in your defense, and you've already gone through them with colleagues, managers, etc., customers, and that really helps just build a well-rounded understanding of what you're trying to do.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm glad that it was a good project that you could base that on, something that we had real world impact, and it's obviously a live cloud that's still running today. So that's great, and obviously Clarinet helped in that you were a big part of that project, so it gave you the material. But so what else did bit of a plug for Clarinet here? What else did Clarinet do to help you achieve this? Because obviously, as you said, it's a lot of time involved in that. A lot, tens of hours on that.
It helped massively. First of all, being allowed to use the project is great. So I checked with management, and they were happy for me to use that project. It makes it a lot easier going forward with a real world scenario. Not only did they look at that, they also looked at sponsorship. So Clarinet actually funded my VCDX certification, which is about $4 or $5 grand, depending on if you have to travel. So that helped massively. There was no financial burden there.
Yeah.
And not only that, like the staff and everyone around me was really helpful. So my design had elements of, obviously you have vCenter in there. We had some vCloud Director in there. We had some vRealize Orchestrator, all those kind of things. So speaking to different people, it's not only Clarinet as a business, but the people as a whole were really helpful, showing me how things work, how the things that complemented NSX works, which really helped me in my defense. And then on top of all of that, like I needed anything else, Clarinet give study leave to their employees. So if you're doing like a VCP exam, they'll give you 1 day a year to study for that. But if you're doing a degree level or a dissertation level certification, and they class the VCDX as that, thanks to yourself, they give you 5 days a year. So I actually had 5 days in 2019 and 5 days in 2020 that led up to the exam, which was tremendously helpful. Being able to, rest your brain, focus solely on the VCDX and NSX really helps.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, that's, I'm glad we were able to help you with that. Obviously, we want to help people develop their careers wherever they can. So, when somebody comes to us wanting to do something as complex and as high level as what you were trying to do and achieved, that's great that we were able to help you. So, yeah, well done on doing that. So, yeah, so the last thing I guess is kind of like, if other people are looking at doing this, why would you want to get the certification? How does this help your customers, for instance, or what is this? What is the selling points?
Yeah, so there's a number of selling points, all for different people. So for me, I was very technical. I understand technically how to deliver all these types of different solutions using NSX. But what I really wanted to understand is what customers needed, what were their requirements, their business goals, and then how could I turn those business goals into a viable solution? So for me, it was all about learning that business element, being able to talk to customers, and then migrating that into a solution for them, matching their goals. There's a lot of other reasons. It really progress. You look at the people that have the VCDXs currently, both old and new, are all in great positions within different companies. There's obviously the challenge element, trying to get that, can you get to the top of your game? There's not many of us out there, so it's it's great to see if you can become one of 300 now. It's a pretty special feeling when you get that acceptance email. But there's tons of reasons, and if you want to go and get your VCDX, just find the right reason for you, and then give it a go.
Yeah, I mean, all those things sound great. I mean, actually, say that for a company or for as a selling point, it's giving you that knowledge not only from a technical perspective, but it's marrying that with the business goals. It's taking it to that end step, which you would like to think we always do, but that's not always the way it works. Things work in isolation, and sometimes the technical and the business case aren't as married up as they should be. So, yeah, that sounds really useful. And like you say, it's not all about certifications, but in this case, it proves what you know, and how you can really implement it end to end and account for all the different aspects of the solution for a customer, or in our case, a multi-tenant cloud platform. So, that's great. Well, I think that's pretty much it for what we had planned.
You've had enough talking to me now.
We've had enough talking to you. Thank you ever so much for coming back a week after you moved on to your new role to come and chat to us and give us a little bit of insight about that, and tell the world a little bit about how Clarinet helped you achieve a great certification. So yeah, thanks very much.
No problem. Clarinet are really positive, and I expect anybody else that wants to go down this route or any similar route, Clarinet will be fully behind like they were for me. It's been a good journey.
Awesome. Great stuff. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.